Hi everybody, welcome in, welcome back. If you haven't, been here before, this is Table Talk with Elle. I'm Elle, I'm Linda. So welcome here. I wanted to share a little bit with you today about people pleasing and boundaries. That's something I've been working on in my personal life lately, and it just made me want to reach out basically and talk about, I think especially as women, how we're so naturally trained, unfortunately, and I hope that is changing for the younger generations, but how we're taught to, be nice girls, to people please, to just sometimes allow people to say to us whatever they want to say. So this has been something that's really been challenging for me. I didn't have the support as a young, as a child in my family dynamics. I didn't have someone there to stand up for me, to tell me that it was okay to have my own opinions and to, it was okay, to have my own thoughts if they differed from their thoughts. So that has been something I've really become conscious of and want to improve. So a few things that I've done, I think the first thing I guess I'll mention is just being conscious about it. I can remember so many times in my life feeling, that knot in your stomach when someone is saying something to you and you don't agree, but you're afraid to disagree because you're afraid to cause conflict, because it's just not how you were raised. You were raised, like I was raised, to just sit there and say nothing. Children should be seen and not heard, unfortunately. And I think that's so hard to challenge oneself to overcome, but I'm definitely getting better at that. I'm definitely getting better at realizing when someone has crossed my boundary and when I am trying too hard and I am people pleasing. And what I've learned, in some instances, you walk away. You don't have anything to prove. And I think for so many years I wanted to prove to others that I was worthy, and even to myself, because I didn't believe that. I didn't believe I deserved better. So I had people appear in my life that mirrored that to me. And now, as, I read, and educate myself, and, I found a few psychologists that I really like who talk about these different things and how to overcome them. So I think it will be something that'll always be challenging. I don't think it's something, it has gotten easier for me in the way that I am now quicker to just stop the conversation or to say to somebody, okay, we obviously see this differently. And that's okay. It doesn't make me right. It doesn't make you right. It's just that we view it, our feelings on it are different. And when someone really wants to press their, really push their boundaries with me and kind of press their opinions upon me, I've just learned that it's okay not to keep engaging. What is that saying? If you don't want to be a clown, don't go to the circus or something. I can't remember exactly, but something to that, you know, geared toward that saying. So some of my daily practices now are, well, being present, asking how it feels in my body, because we feel all of these things in my in my body, yes, for me, but in our bodies we feel these things, and recognizing it and honoring it are so important. It is so important to love and respect ourselves, because if we don't, who's going to? Because it's mirrored to us in our outside world. And once I found conflict so hard, it overwhelmed me. I became so emotional. I did not know how to deal with it. But I've gotten much better at that. Quieting myself, taking some deep breaths, calming my nervous system, and saying it's okay. It's healthy to have conflict. It's healthy to understand how to develop conflict resolution. And that definitely starts to appear when you realize your boundaries have been crossed and you are allowing yourself to people please for others. So those are definitely ongoing skills that I'm learning, I'll put it that way. But I have to say, I'm really proud of the fact that what I notice now is I'm not reacting, I'm responding. And if there's some reason I don't feel the conversation requires a response, depending on who it is you're engaging with, I'm able to walk away. I don't have to prove to someone else my values or what I'm worth as a person, as a woman. And I just feel that that's huge. I sometimes, journaling has helped me with that. And just becoming more aware of what my previous patterns were. Like I went through a phase in dating where I realized I was meeting the same people over and over again in different packages, so to speak. And what I realized that was it was my patterns, because I was engaging with them in a certain way. And as I became more honest with myself and true to myself, that changed. And it changed me, because I was willing to look at all of my fears, all of the things that had held me back in life in different areas. And when for a long time, I couldn't regulate my nervous system, because what I realized was I would do shallow breathing, or I didn't breathe at all. Or if I had something to say to someone, I took so long to say it, I allowed it to build up so much that it became a full-blown explosion, not a conversation. So, if there's anything that I could urge you to do, if it's something you struggle with, drop a comment to me, let me know. Because being aware, writing it down, and allowing yourself to feel your emotions. I don't mean to become overwhelmed by them. I mean to feel them, to acknowledge them in your body, Sometimes I just sit with it for a little while, but I don't let it overtake me. And then I let it kind of just pass through my system. That has helped me immensely, because for so long I denied my feelings. I denied when they came up that I should even have them, because obviously the other person should know better than I. And I mean, obviously we know that's not always true. So, yeah, taking time out, self-reflection, talking it over with someone whom you can trust, who's not going to judge how you feel or why you feel that way, because sometimes we just feel the way that we do. And it's okay sometimes to feel overwhelmed, but to recognize what you have to do to bring yourself back into balance. And whether that is through breath work, I meditate every day, and sometimes if I'm feeling really unbalanced, I just practice, I practice some breath work. It's easy. I do it for 10 minutes. I think it's little steps. I think trying to take huge steps to overcome what you're facing paralyzes us to wonder, will we ever be able to do that? But the first, one of the things that I learned when I realized, what's going on in a conversation with someone, I would ask myself, what's my intention here? Am I saying to this person what they want to hear, or am I being honest? And we can be honest in kind and respectful ways. It does not have to be harsh and demeaning at all. So those are just some things that I thought I wanted to share with you. I think it's important, these days and these times in the world, they're definitely challenging. And there's a lot of fear because some days we don't know what we're facing. And if you can take a few minutes just to remember you're here, you're important, you're valued, it will all be okay. Maybe it doesn't get okay tomorrow, but whatever you face, you can figure a way to work yourself, to get yourself to a better place. And sometimes that takes talking to a friend. Sometimes that takes perhaps a therapist. I think that's such a personal thing. It's totally up to you. I've turned to reading books, and I have a couple of really good friends who I can just sit down and talk to, and they don't judge me. And I think the most important thing is being kind to yourself, kind and loving to yourself. Because when we're trying to make personal changes and work on being a better version of ourselves, it's not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. And sometimes we fall back before we go ahead again. And that's okay. It's all okay. So take care. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to have a community here where we can share our thoughts, our challenges, our successes, our failures. Okay, I'll talk to you.